Hello there, beautiful people. Welcome back to the channel. Today we take a break from the usual socio-political stuff. Well, not really. But the focus of today's story is not about the socio-political issues per se, but me questioning the marketing strategy of the Me Too movement. I present to you Lorena Bobbit. If you don't know who that is, that name became famous as this lady got a ton of media attention and cable news spotlight for cutting off her husband's penis while he was sleeping, throwing it in a field, and running away. The background pictures that you are seeing is images from her trial. I want to read you the details from an outlet that is going to be more sympathetic to her case, if there is any. According to the New York Times, there she said as she drove us around in her Kia on a recent afternoon was the hospital where surgeons reattached John Wayne Bobbitt's penis after she cut it off with a kitchen knife as she slept on the night of June 23, 1993. 15 minutes away near Maplewood Drive was a gravel-strewn field where she disposed of the detached penis out of the driver's side window. So why did she throw it away, I asked. I tried to drive the car, obviously, but I had this thing in my hand so I couldn't drive, so I got rid of it. Obviously. Further down the road is the nail salon where she worked and fled to that night. I'm not a vindictive person because I told them where it was. Lorena Gallo, as she is now known, said, by them she means the police, who sometime after 4:30 a.m. clutched their loins and went digging through the overgrown roadside grass for the missing member. They found it, put it on ice in a Big Bite hot dog box from a nearby 7-Eleven, and rushed it to the hospital, where in a 9.5-hour feat of urological and plastic surgery, it was reattached and restored to almost full function. That case ended with the jury finding Lorena Bobbit not guilty on the grounds of temporary insanity. Her husband was in the eye of the media, got surgery, and found a career in the adult entertainment industry, featuring in adult films titled Uncut and Frankenpenis. No, I'm not making it up. He got remarried and was arrested on battery charges and was also acquitted on battery charges, not diving into the details of his life as he is not important to our story. Our story focuses on Lorena Bobbit. Her side of the story involves claims of abuse, both physical and emotional, that spanned over a long period of time that eventually pushed her off the edge. It's up to you whether you want to believe her claims, but her claims were good enough for the court, who found her not guilty when she took a kitchen knife to her husband's genitals while he was sleeping. She is recently coming out with a documentary created by Jordan Peele, which will be describing her side of the story. Apparently people, or American society at large, have not been too kind and receptive to her story, and this documentary will clear some of that out. I'm familiar with the work of Jordan Peele and his social commentary, so I am a little skeptical of how objective he will actually be, but that is most likely just me. According to Bobbit, if you listen to a little bit more, Lorena Bobbit hopes that the new documentary about her story will shed light not only on her story, but also on those of other victims of domestic violence and sexual assault. Produced by Jordan Peele, Lorena will premiere Tuesday at the Sundance Film Festival. Instead of having a serious conversation about domestic violence and sexual assault, it was about John's organ. She fumed. The whole essence of the whole situation is indignant. Now, all this was a precursor to my questions regarding the whole thing. Some of you may be sympathetic and partial to Lorena Bobbit's story, and I'm absolutely cool with that. Some of you may feel she tapped into biases within the legal system and got off easy. I'm okay with that too. If you're agnostic about the whole thing, I understand that too. But here's my confusion with Me Too's marketing strategy starts to creep in. Lorena has become a somewhat unlikely face of the Me Too movement in the anniversary of the infamous trial, and while she generally leads a quiet life, she wants to use the resurfaced spotlight for good. The Me Too movement has helped a lot to build awareness and reduce the stigma of victims, she said, and I applaud the efforts that this movement has brought to bring attention of sexual harassment and victims of sexual abuse. Now back to my questions. If you want to raise awareness of domestic abuse, I'm not sure what that means. I haven't met anyone in my life who is not aware of domestic abuse and the plight of domestic abuse victims. I speculate you're trying to raise awareness about societal levels of sympathy for domestic abuse victims. You're trying to raise sympathy, garner more sympathy for them, and more likely female victims of domestic abuse. I wish it didn't have to have a gender component, but I think what you all are trying to do is still noble. Now, if raising sympathy about domestic abuse victims is the case, do you really think Lorena Bobbit is really the one that'll bring you closer to that objective? If you're trying to get chauvinistic misogynists that you claim is hiding around every corner to feel sympathy for the woman's plight, a person most known for chopping off his husband's penis while he's asleep might not be the best way to go about it. I don't know, I can only talk about myself, and I have no idea how many people in the general populace actually thinks like this. I do, however, think that there's a chance a lot of people are going to look at this story and have a reaction you don't want. My advice is, not every story involves a woman has to be about Me Too or the plight of women or some other social commentary. Sometimes they can just be individual stories that caters to people's curiosity. I don't know what you all want me to think about this particular case. Well, you guys let me know what you think. I will talk to you guys later. Take care.